Here's a statistic that stopped me in my tracks. 93% of Americans have at least one risk factor for metabolic disease. That means only 7% of us are actually metabolically healthy. And one of the biggest reasons, it's not just what we're eating, it's also what we're drinking. Because drinks are sneaky. They go down fast, they don't feel like a meal, and most people with diabetes are watching their plate, but they're completely ignoring their glass. So today I'm going to go over the worst drinks for type 2 diabetes, and I promise you the last one is going to surprise you. Most people think it's actually healthy. I'm Diana. I'm a registered dietitian, a certified diabetes care and education specialist, and I have my master's in nutrition science. I work with people who have type 2 diabetes and prediabetes every single day, and this topic comes up constantly. But before I get into it, I put together a free checklist about the 10 best daily habits to reverse insulin resistance naturally. These are the exact habits I go over with my clients, simple, science-backed, and things you can start today. If you want it, just comment the word checklist below and I'll send it to you right away for free. Okay, now let's get into it. Before we get to the list, I need you to understand why drinks hit differently than food when you have diabetes. When you eat something solid, let's say a bowl of oatmeal, a piece of toast, Greek yogurt, your body has to break it down. There is fiber, protein, fat, things that slow digestion down and give your blood sugar a more gradual rise. But when you drink something that has sugar in it, it bypasses a lot of that process. It floods your bloodstream fast. Your blood sugar spikes hard and your pancreas has to scramble to pump up insulin to deal with it. Now here's the problem. If you have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, your cells are already resistant to insulin. Think of insulin like a key and your cells like a lock. In insulin resistance, that lock is rusty. The key doesn't work as well anymore. So when your blood sugar spikes from a drink, your body needs more insulin to do the same job. And over time, that wears your pancreas out even further. That's why what you drink matters just as much, sometimes more, than what you eat. Okay, let's get into the list. Drink number 1, sugary sweetened beverages. And this one shouldn't shock you, but the data behind it absolutely should. Regular soda, sweetened iced tea, energy drinks, sports drinks, sweetened coffees, even those vitamin waters that sound healthy, these are called sugary sweetened beverages or SSBs. And the research on these is brutal. Each additional daily serving of a sugary drink increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 18 to 27%. That's per serving per day. And for people who already have diabetes, higher intake of these drinks is directly linked to higher rates of cardiovascular disease and all-cause mortality. Meaning it's not just about blood sugar. These drinks are shortening lives. Here's why they're so damaging. Most of these drinks are loaded with high fructose corn syrup. And fructose is a special kind of dangerous. Unlike glucose, which every cell in your body can use for energy, fructose can only be processed by your liver. So when you drink a can of soda, your liver gets absolutely flooded. It can't keep up. And whatever it can process gets converted into fat, specifically liver fat. This is the number 1 driver of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And a fatty liver is an insulin-resistant liver, which makes your entire blood sugar situation worse. 1 can of regular soda can have 39 grams of sugar. That's almost 10 teaspoons. So if you're still drinking regular soda with a diabetes diagnosis, this is the first thing that has to go. No negotiation. Okay, drink number 2 is fruit juice, even 100% juice. And this is where people start to push back on me. Fruit juice. Yes, even the 100% natural, no sugar added, straight from the orange kind. I hear it all the time, but Diana, it's natural, it came from fruit. And I get it, but here's what happens when you juice a fruit. You strip out the fiber, and fiber is the thing that slows sugar absorption down. Without it, fruit juice hits your bloodstream almost as fast as soda. The sugar content is nearly identical. An 8-ounce glass of orange juice has about 26 grams of sugar. A can of Coke has 39. They're in the same ballpark, and you're probably pouring more than 8 ounces. Multiple large studies and meta-analysis have confirmed this. Higher fruit juice intake is associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes. And for people who already have it, it causes the same kind of blood sugar spike as a sugary drink. Now, whole fruit is a completely different story. When you're eating an apple, you're getting fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and the sugar is absorbed slowly. The research supports eating whole fruit for people with diabetes. If you love the taste of juice, try infusing water with actual fruit slices. You get the flavor, a tiny fraction of the sugar, and you keep the blood sugar response flat. Okay, number 3, alcohol, especially heavy drinking. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you can never have a drink again, but I do need to be honest with you about what the research shows, especially for people with type 2 diabetes. Heavy drinking is consistently associated with poor blood sugar control and higher A1C levels. And A1C is your 3-month average blood sugar. It's one of the most important numbers you track when you have diabetes. And alcohol is actively working against it. Here's why alcohol is complicated for people with diabetes specifically. First, most alcoholic drinks are loaded with sugar and carbohydrates. Beer, cocktails, mixers, they all spike blood sugar. Second, alcohol impairs your liver's ability to regulate blood sugar. Your liver is supposed to release glucose when your blood sugar drops too low. But when it's busy processing alcohol, it can't do that job properly. This is why people on certain diabetes medications can experience dangerous low blood sugar episodes when they drink. Third, alcohol lowers your inhibitions, and when your inhibitions are lowered, your food choices tend to go sideways. Late night pizza after a few drinks is not a coincidence. And fourth, alcohol disrupts sleep, and poor sleep raises blood sugar. It's a chain reaction. If you do choose to drink, the research suggests light to moderate use carries less risk than heavy or binge drinking. But even then, it requires caution, especially if you're on insulin or certain medications. Always talk to your doctor about what's safe for you specifically. Okay, drink number 4, diet soda and artificially sweetened beverages. And I know what you're thinking, Diana already switched to diet soda, I'm doing the right thing. And I hear you, and I want to be fair here because the research on this one is more nuanced than the others. But here's what we know. Multiple large studies and meta-analysis have found that higher long-term intake of artificially sweetened beverages is associated with a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, some researchers believe this is partly because people who are already sick tend to switch to diet drinks. So it's hard to fully separate cause and effect. But here's what else we know. For people who already have diabetes, diet sodas don't show to have the same protective benefits that water, unsweetened coffee, or tea do. They're not clearly harmful in the short term, but they're also not helping you. And there's another layer to this. Artificial sweeteners may affect your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that live in your digestive system and play a huge role in insulin sensitivity and metabolic health. Some research suggests they can disrupt that balance over time. There's also the physiological piece. When your brain tastes something sweet, it expects calories and energy to follow. When they don't come, some people find their cravings for sweet things can actually increase. It can make it harder to break the cycle of wanting sweet drinks in the first place. So is diet soda better than regular soda? Yes, absolutely, especially in the short term. If you are someone who drinks regular soda and you need a stepping stone, then diet soda for the short term is the next best option. Then try to make your way to water or sparkling water or some of the other drinks I've mentioned. The goal is to retrain your palate away from that sweetness altogether. And it's absolutely possible. Most of my clients who commit to it say that within a few weeks, plain water starts to taste refreshing instead of boring. Okay, we've covered the obvious ones, but I told you at the beginning the last drink on this list is going to surprise you because this one is marketed as healthy all the time. It's in every grocery store. People buy it specifically because they think it's good for them. For most people, it's fine every once in a while, but if you have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, it can really spike your blood sugar quickly and drastically. But before I get to this last one, I want to make sure you have something really valuable. I put together a free checklist with the 10 best daily habits to start today to reverse insulin resistance naturally. These are the exact habits I go over with my clients, simple, science-backed, and things you can start today. If you want it, just comment the word checklist below and I'll send it to you for free. Okay, now the last drink. Smoothies, green juices, and more. I'm gonna throw a few drinks into this category because they all share the same problem. They look healthy, they're marketed as healthy, but for someone with type 2 diabetes, they can be a blood sugar disaster. I'm talking about those store-bought smoothies, bottled green juices, sweetened protein shakes, sweetened coffee drinks from places like Starbucks. Let's start with smoothies though. A smoothie from a popular chain can have 60, 70, even 80 grams of sugar. That's more than 2 cans of soda. Even homemade smoothies can be a problem if you're loading it with banana, mango, pineapple, fruit juice as a base, honey. Each one of those ingredients does contain sugar, and together they will create a glucose spike. Then there's bottled green juice. People see kale, spinach, cucumber on the label and assume it's low sugar. But most of these bottles also contain apple, pineapple, carrot juice to make them taste good. You flip it over and look at the sugar content, and you'll often find 30 to 40 grams per bottle. And sweetened coffee drinks, a large flavored latte or frappuccino can have 40 to 60 grams of sugar and hundreds of calories. That's basically dessert in a cup. The common thread here is this: the word natural on a label doesn't mean blood sugar friendly. You have to look at the full picture. The total carbs, the added sugar, the fiber content, the portion size. Okay, I don't want to leave you just with a list of things to avoid. Let's talk about what actually works. The research is really clear on this. The best daily drinks for people with type 2 diabetes are water, plain and simple. It's neutral. It supports kidney function, which is critical for flushing excess glucose. And it's consistently linked to better outcomes compared to sugary drinks. If plain water feels boring, sparkling water is a great alternative. You can even add cucumber slices, lemon, or some mint leaves. Other drinks are unsweetened coffee and tea. Both are consistently associated with lower diabetes risk and lower mortality in people who already have diabetes. The key word is unsweetened. Black coffee, green tea, herbal tea, they are genuinely protective. Just don't undo the benefit by adding 3 pumps of syrup. And if you love smoothies, you don't have to give them up, just build them smarter. Watch my video on this where I show you how to make the perfect smoothie for diabetes. Here's the bottom line: managing type 2 diabetes isn't just about what's on your plate, it's what's in your glass matters just as much, sometimes more, because liquid sugar hits your bloodstream faster than almost anything else. The good news, this is one of the most actionable changes you can make. You don't need a prescription, you don't need a gym membership, you just need to swap what you're drinking. Start with 1 swap this week. Replace 1 sugary drink with water or unsweetened tea or coffee. That's it, 1 swap. And pay attention to how your energy, your cravings, your numbers start to shift. And again, if you want the full roadmap, the daily habits that can help actually reverse insulin resistance, comment checklist below and I'll get it to you. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you love who's managing diabetes. I'll see you in the next video.